Oh, let's bring in criminal defense attorney Silva Megredichian. Silva, thank you so much for being with both of us today. We appreciate you coming on. As always, your great expertise. There is a lot in this trial, and the focus right now is on that affair, that relationship between the au pair and the defendant in this case. And listen, in opening arguments, the defense says, they were having an affair. Like, we're not hiding that fact. Tell us a little more about your thoughts and leaning into that by the defense.
Yes, you know, first of all, the magnificent two of you, I adore you both, brilliant minds. I love watching and being on. Okay, you guys, there's so much to unravel here. And I was actually reading some of the court TV comments while she was testifying. You know, here's the thing. The defense has a lot to work with. If there's any issue as to credibility, and Judge Ashley, I agree with you. I do believe she's coming off as credible. But I think the defense is really going to play with the fact that this is almost a Brazilian vixen. Don't look at her now with her brunette hair and her big glasses and her very homely look. But remember, this is a blonde vixen who came into the home, and it's going to be impossible for you to think that all of these ideas came from Mr. Banfield. They're also going to attack, of course, the deal that she made with prosecutors, but also it's very easy to blame everything on Mr. Banfield as if she did absolutely nothing. But again, this is a very young girl here working. But I do think the defense has a lot to attack, and I think the defense might have, you know, a little bit of an advantage of attacking her if the jury is not totally convinced that she sounds credible. And again, I think those pictures that distinguish her from before and after, that's going to be an issue that the defense, I think, is also, it's so obvious, the court TV viewers, everyone is just talking about how different she looks testifying.
But one thing you can't forget, and I think is going to be a problem for the defense, Silva, is the power dynamic in that relationship, right? He's the one that started a relationship with her. And, you know, the relationship between the au pair and the host family is one, there's a really sort of skewed power dynamic. She is at their beck and call. She cannot mess up. She has to do things that they say. He is in total control. He's older. She's not really from here. She's really relying on them so much. And I think that's a big problem for the defense.
Of course, Michael, it's going to be an aspect that the prosecutors are really going to jump on. Youth and the power between the disparity of youth versus this husband and, you know, and father. Of course, the prosecutors are going to really hammer it home that how can this girl who's here working, trying to become something, why would she devise this grand plan? You know, as she testified, this was a shallow relationship. It was a sexual relationship. She didn't think there would be long term. But then the defense is going to say, but she went with it. She never stopped. She never had any pause. She helped and aided in what she could in creating, you know, this fake profile and the fake conversations. But again, whenever we see this, Michael and Judge Ashley, whenever there's this big utopian plea deal, right, depending on her testimony that she's going to get time served, there's a lot for the defense to attack. And I got to tell you guys, Mr. Banfield constantly talking to his defense attorney, writing down this huge autobiography, it looks like, while she's testifying. I'm curious to see what exactly he's attacking and letting his attorney know. But his attorney has a job. His attorney needs to listen intently to that direct examination so he knows how to attack it accurately. So there's just so much going on. Michael, you were right. I popcorn while I'm watching this.
No question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just going to mention what Silva did, and that is that she did enter a plea and has a deal for time served, and that's going to be important to the defense.
A sweetheart deal, not just a deal.
You're right.
Sweetheart deal. All right, we're going to step aside here, Silva, stand by. When we come back, of course, more key testimony from the au pair in the murder trial against Brendan Banfield. Keep it here on Court TV.